Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another day of SPL. My name is Tom Battinger, and this is Graham Hatfield. And we're coming at you live today from Alpharetta, Georgia. And it's another exciting day. We've got Dig versus Titan to start everything off with.
And with that, Europe as it stands as a whole for the time being. I mean, it's backwards and forwards at the top of the charts. Well, not really, because Epsilon's still there. But as you look further down the list, you can see the mid-table very, very cluttered.
Cluttered, to say the least, and everybody's sort of right there in the middle. The difference between 9 and 8 wins is very small here, but Dignitas, as you can see, 4 and 10, taking on Titan 8 and 6. So best case scenario for Team Dignitas, they wind up with a 6 and 10 record at the end of this. They won't really be able to move anywhere, but it's a good look for the rest of the season.
They keep catching on under Conspiracy if they can do that, and Titan themselves, what they'll be really looking for here is to try and extend their lead and get themselves a solid 4th position, because Conspiracy on their heels.
Dignitas has been trying to make steps to sort of become a better team, and in the doing so, they have actually switched things around just a little bit. We're going to see Dignitas trying to eke out a win against Titan here, and pretty much the same old standard lineup here. Shadownightmare right in the middle.
Best news for Dignitas here is that out of the last 5 games they've played, they've won 3, which is a big comparison compared to the start of the season, where it took them 10 games to find a win without a sub. They found a win with a sub during those 10 games, but without a sub, they've not managed to find one until then. But now they've got this small little streak, which is starting to see a rise. And some of that, I feel, is down to the fact that they feel they can now make it to LAN, now that we extend it to 6 teams.
In order to make it to LAN, though, Dignitas is going to have to topple a number of teams, one of which will be Titan. Titan coming at you right now. Now, interesting case, we're actually going to have a substitute in this game, Confrey, unable to make it. So, Coach Bird will be taking over for Confrey. Now, I haven't really heard what role he's going to be playing. Last time we saw him sub in, he did sub in the solo lane, playing a bunch of chalk.
More than likely, he'll be in the hunter role, though, just to keep the rest of the team in their usual positions is what I expect. Maybe we see Ataraxia go back to the hunter role for this game. We'll find out for these games. Big thing to note, though, about Titan, they're not on a winning record right now. They're on a down slant. Week 2 was the last time they 2-0'd a team, F-Dot.
Yeah, since then they've just been splitting down the middle. So problematic for Titan as we get into our game number 1 of the day, Dignitas versus Titan. We'll see how these teams match up against each other, and Team Dignitas will be on the left side opting for first pick.
Now, the one thing to note as well is about Dignitas is the best record they've had is with Freya. Freya's 100% win record when they've picked that for Rens in that hunter role. Will they default to it again and try and keep that record going?
We'll take a look at it, and also worth noting is that Freya is 100% part of their wins, but always paired with Thor as well. So Team Dignitas looking for not just 1, but 2 gods, mayhaps, to see how that everything fits out in their spectrum.
We did also see Kukulkan picked up by them as well, which won both games up against that LC team that we saw.
That was just Shadownightmare trying to switch things up.
But it worked, you know? He secured the goal Fury objectives, had a good position and game on it. If he can do that again, maybe it's one of those guys that we don't see much of, and maybe that's a good idea to try and switch things up some more.
It might be. I mean, we talked a little bit yesterday about how sometimes picking a god just because it's not frequently seen can benefit a team, and that sort of worked out for Shadownightmare in that regard. Bans are out. Serket, Hell, Giannis, and Kepri taken off the board. No real surprises there. A lot of healers coming out. So Sun Wukong, number 1 pick. Again, pretty standard with the change to Bluestone. Thor and Athena picked up for Titan.
Sun Wukong very, very strong right now in that solo lane. Can be played in the support role too, but more than likely we see him in the solo with the Bluestone. As you said, level 2 pretty much can wave clear and has the ability to potentially all in at level 2 if he has a good opportunity at the beginning of the game.
The Thor and the Athena picked up for Titan, very standard choices over here. And again, going back to how Team Dignitas actually finds wins because they don't have too many. Freya and Thor are the reason, are 100% a part of those wins. So Thor taken away by Titan will be an interesting look. Team Dignitas, they get their Freya, but can they win without the Thor as well?
That's going to be the key to this game for me. We'll see what they can do, because that's the lane matchup they've done before as well. The last game against LC, they did run Sylvanus and Freya together in that lane. It worked out strong for them then. Maybe it'll do the same thing. Titan, though, big global presence here now, especially with that new wall locked in as well, with the fire shards. 3 gods with ultimates that can affect the whole map to an extent.
Smart stuff coming out from Titan. They select their, what most likely will wind up being their mid laner in Nuwa, and they go ahead and they ban out Isis. Isis, of course, a strong mid laner, and Team Dignitas has picked well, everything but the mid lane and the jungle.
And that's a big key as well. Shadownightmare, 2 of the wins that they've found so far this season have been on Isis. So it's a good, smart ban away by Titan there. And in response, you see the Neef taken away. And I think that's probably Omgimabird and maybe Neef and Ataraxia as well, just in case they're not sure which one's playing that role still, more than likely.
Neitha, very easy to come into. God, we saw last time when Bird substituted in. He played on the chalk, which is sort of known as the stalemate the lane. You can't really make any too big mistakes. You just throw the axe out and clear the wave. Ram selected here for Titan, more of a finesse character. I'm going to say that Ataraxia will be playing Hunter.
Finesse, but very basic at the same time. Everything's all about auto attacks for the most part. You've got a roll to get away. You've got also your ultimate to escape danger for the most part. Pretty safe.
Clearing the wave is anything but basic on a Ram.
But it's all about landing autos with Ram. That's the big key there. Land your autos. Big important factor.
Kukulkan going to be picked up one more time for Team Dignitas. Again, last time around, Shadownightmare played this character, and it was talked about how he really only picked it because he wanted to change things up. The positives that come with Kukulkan, because again, we don't really see him picked that often in the SPL. As Hinuman said, fantastic objective secure when it comes to the ultimate, one of the higher damage dealing ultimates in the game, as well as superior zoning. Tornadoes, you just can't walk through them late game.
He's one of those guys that are very, very similar to Poseidon. Poseidon and Kukulkan kind of share similar paths in terms of Whirlpool and Tornado. Both give that area of control. Big team fight ultimates as well. Obviously, different radiuses to an extent of how they go off. But Kukulkan played by Shadownightmare last time around against London Conspiracy. His positioning was what was very important. He sat on the back line, made sure nobody could come deep, which will protect that Freya, which is very important in this game.
Guan Yu most likely will be in the solo lane on Titan, and we will be able to see who's playing who and where, and it will be Ataraxia sticking to the solo lane on that Guan Yu. Oh my god, I'm a bird. We'll be taking over the Hunter role this time around again. Config unavailable, so Bird, the old coach, will be stepping in for the Hunters. Yeah. Everybody on the side of Team Dignitas should be familiar, but take a look. They are grouping as 5. Now, this is generally to protect the warder because this could be dangerous.
Because they've got Kukulkan and the root, they can pick up a kill really quickly. Exactly. Someone caught in the tornado after a root. Obviously, though, well aware of Titan, so they just sit back and play it very safe.
Team's going to back right there, and that's pretty much, as I said, we'll see other items being picked up in place of that ward so you can get both potions. That's why everybody groups up just in case somebody's picked off, and then you go ahead and back so you're able to fill both of your inventory slots with wards and potions.
Can we just check it with variety as well in that some Wukong? Because I believe he started red power pot as well. So gone power pot and bluestone pendant. His wave play is going to be very, very strong. His poke potential even higher as well. And up against Ataraxia, that could punish him, try and put the pressure on a little bit against Guan Yu, who through the levels 1 to 3, he's not going to have as the effective wave play as he'd probably like to.
Now it's interesting because Sun Wukong is not a character that absolutely needs the red pot here. We've seen him be extremely successful without it. So, in a way, if a kill doesn't wind up because of this red pot, it's not necessarily a loss, but it's not as big as it could have been if you had just purchased an item.
I agree, but if you can get lane control and dominance early on...
Which you're pretty much guaranteed with a Sun Wukong anyway.
Yeah, but it's put more pressure. But Guan Yu, to be fair, can give as good as he gets in that lane matchup. Maybe
very true.
Edge,
not
maybe
early.
Rotate early for the mid-harpies, get an experience league there. It might not work out for him, we'll find out.
We'll take a look. Root good on to KanyeLife. You'll go ahead and charge up the dash. Nothing real strong coming out right now. The waves will meet. You don't want to get too over-aggressive in this duo lane. It seems so easy to get to, but look at the amount of poke that's going on to KanyeLife.
A lot of poke in that duo lane right now. Freya took a lot of damage, and now Ataraxia in a little bit of trouble over here, though. We will see first blood by Variety, and that red pot has paid off.
Red pot does pay off, and iRens makes it pay as well. So Dignitas gets a kill in the solo lane and the duo lane.
What a great start for Dignitas, and across both sides of the map. That puts so much pressure on Repikas in the jungle now. He's like, where do I help? And meanwhile, FrostiaK, the other jungler, can go, well, boys, I can just sit mid lane now. You know, you guys are in a good position.
And see, that's what I was talking about over in the duo lane, was the fact that it's very easy to get over-aggressive, dash in and do some damage, but before we switched over to solo lane to take a look at the first blood, Athena had lost half her HP before the enemy hit her. It was all minions, and it's very easy to underestimate the amount of damage that these minions do. And because of that, a kill was given to Titan.
I mean, Kanye maybe have expected, oh my god, to be a little bit more aggressive there more than anything else. I mean, generally you used to play with your support, you know, the usual duo lane. With a sub, it can throw things off a little bit. Maybe OMG could have got a little bit more aggressive in that to trade back a little bit more, but played it very, very safe. And I guess, you know, in the end, Kanye a little bit out of position, paid the ultimate price with that one, and 2 kills now in favor of Dignitas.
And here in the solo lane, the first kill, of course, came from Variety's Red Pot Sun Wukong, and
well, you can see what he's trying to do in this lane as well. You saw him go Tiger Stance under the tower there. What he was after is cancelling out Tower with Soul with that. So it gives Sun Wukong a nice advantage to stop the wave clear abilities of Ataraxia. If he can keep this pressure on, it's good times because Thor should have to rotate to gank. And ganking a Sun Wukong isn't easy.
Not at all. I mean, that's why, you know, it's interesting. This matchup seems to go decently for Guan Yu on paper a lot of the time. But you just stun the Tello Assault.
It's really, really close between these between the two, but there's a gank coming out from FrostiaK, putting the pressure on, forced out the cavalry charge as well. Back to the left-hand lane, we have a little look there too.
Thor's going up. Looking for more, gets right on the back of FrezzOO. FrezzOO will go ahead and put Thor, pop it up, and that's enough to make Titan question getting a little bit more aggressive. So Sylvanus defensively ultimates, and that makes 3 members of Titan walk away.
But going back to that Guan Yu versus Sun Wukong matchup, for the most part, it should be technically the Sun Wukong's favor for the most part, but Guan should be pretty safe. As long as he can stay in his minion wave and use the Tello Assault, then you can't really hit him with the cat stun. And the Ox Form obviously doesn't knock up while using that Tello Assault. So it should be a farm lane, but this early advantage from Variety has been very strong, and now FrostiaK's trying to abuse this too and put more pressure on.
Credit to not FrostiaK, but solo laner Variety. Very, very important that he did get that kill. As I said, the red pot start, I didn't love it because you needed to get that kill. Once you got the kill, it's a different story. And he got the first kill. Can he find another? Guan Yu very low already. Here comes help from mid and from the jungle. Variety picks up one, and Shadownightmare picks up the other. That's 2 down on the side of Titan. And very quickly, Team Dignitas have 4 kills by the 4th minute and have solidified a lead for themselves early on.
But already you saw the rotation from Dignitas straight away from Shadownightmare and FrostiaK. They got cavalry charge off of Ataraxia.
Exactly.
Immediately they rotate looking for the blue buff, potentially a pick. They find a pick and an additional one. They originally looked for Ataraxia. Get one more.
That's the key, though. A lot of times you'll hear, oh, we got an ult, that's a win, or oh, we got beads 1, that's a win. It's only a win if you capitalize on it. It's only a win if you do something with it.
Well, so sometimes it can be like, even if you don't do something with it, you can buy you some time where you don't have to worry about something. So you can farm a little bit safer because you know Thor's not got his ultimate anymore.
Yeah,
you know? So
very different. Cavalry charge, not the same thing. You know, you're only gonna,
especially on a solo laner.
Exactly, a solo laner. You got his ult. Hooray! That's why you see sometimes Hercules will use their ultimate to clear the wave because it's not a big deal.
Not a big deal at all. Shadownightmare, though, so far, 1-0-1. Has used the Magi finished. Really good item for Kukulkan as well, something that's underestimated because it gives him mana as well as penetration. And mana is one of the things that Kukulkan scales very, very well with due to his passive.
That's why we always see those early, well, every mage likes a Book of Thoth. High damage is high damage, but it synergizes very well with the passive, of course.
Synergizes indeed, and now you can see Frezzy looking around for some ward placements for the most part. He's actually going to get countered immediately by KanyeLife there, who was well aware of that. That was by mid lane now, some more pressure.
Blinking on in is Frezzy, looking for the initiate, can't find it. Pop up, root, gone! Shadownightmare gets the ultimate on the combination play perfectly.
Some really nice things going on there from Dignitas too. Notice how Berserker Barrage was used, and Frezzy held his ultimate because when Berserker Barrage goes off, you can't get knocked up. He waited patiently, landed the root, got the knock up, and Shadownightmare that was on point to make sure there was follow-up perfectly positioned at the correct time. And Dignitas, they're running away with this one right now.
This is a different Dignitas. It's largely been attributed to, as soon as the announcement was made, as Ataraxia gets harassed even more in the solo lane, about the change to Super Regionals. Of course, Super Regionals will be the regional championships, both North America and Europe, that will take place live here at hi-rez Studios after the end of the split. We've expanded it to include 6 teams from each region instead of 4, and Dignitas, who is sort of on that 5th, 6th place, we talked to iRens after a game. The announcement was made. Dignitas won. We talked to iRens. I heard a different player. He was just so excited, very, very happy. And since that moment, Hindu, we've seen a different Team Dignitas.
We've seen a lot more aggressive Dignitas. They're looking for the wins. They're playing to actually win the game, not not lose the game. You know, that's the big difference from it. And Dignitas right now, very, very strong. This Kukulkan for me has been a backbone of it too. It just seems to be this pick where people haven't been ready for it. They think it's a pretty, you know, mediocre god, but it's working for the boys of Dig.
Exactly, and it's important to say that Kukulkan is a mediocre god, but it's working for Shadownightmare. And if you've heard me do broadcasts before, you know how important team identity is to me. And when it comes to Team Dignitas, if playing Kukulkan is what they do, that's what they do.
Ren's 2v1 under pressure there. May go down here after that taunt. No good beads usage. Will fall. The wisps weren't enough from Frezzy. Kanye picks up the first kill for Titan. Right inside though, more aggression onto Repi and Ataraxia.
Ataraxia just can't find a buff. He's going to get back up on his horse and find safety underneath his tower, but Team Dignitas walk away with their buff. Titan do wind up on the board with the kill in the dual lane. Hunter iRens falls.
I was going to mention iRens as well. We mentioned at the start of this broadcast, Freya, 100% win ratio so far for Dignitas this season. And so far, so good for them. It looks like they've got an opportunity here as Spirit of the Nine Moons was used by Shadownightmare. He's still chasing down Repi, going to look for the Squall. Will connect, but he's in a little bit of trouble now on where he's going to try and back. Luckily, Variety's here to cover.
3-0-1, very early on this Kukulkan for Shadownightmare. One of the better players, better mid laners, honestly. A lot of times we see players that their skill generally their skill is overvalued based on their team, so to speak. And up until the past couple of weeks, Shadownightmare was the player on this squad. Now, the rest of the team are not horrible, but Shadownightmare has really been the player to look at,
but
it's just continuing.
It's true, he is the star of Team Dignitas, honestly.
The other players have stepped up.
Bad performances, Shadownightmare has performed well in those games. But the other guys, so far, so good. You know, this game, if you notice, I know we mentioned Shadownightmare, he's 3-0-1, but solo lane got the kill first of all, and dual lane a second later.
And that's where I was going to go with it. Variety for a long time, for me personally, has not been a player to write home about. I haven't, up until about week number 3 here in the fall split. At the end of the summer split, we got to see a little bit of an increase in what Variety was able to bring to the team. And then as the fall split came around, even more so. And then week 2 or 3, I forget which week it was, he played an Uller. And it absolutely blew me away. And since then, Variety has really been on the money.
Biggest thing with Variety, he's been trying to find his identity ever since when he used to play for Coast. He used to play a lot of the healers, but then the healers left the meta and he was kind of left in this limbo of like, what is my role? He's tried Assassins this season. He's played a lot of Chronos. He's picked up the Warriors. He's tried the Odins. He's tried Ra again. He's been through a lot of things right now, but now he's starting to find some sort of synergy with these Warriors finally.
Exactly.
It's working out okay for them. The team as a whole, though, Dignitas, they're starting to step up, and what a great time to do it too. You know, you realize you were in 6th, 7th seed, potentially top 6 go. You're up against Titan, who, let's be honest, finished 2nd at Worlds right now, and you just take a go for everything, but you're in trouble now.
Damage coming out from Thor as he lands on the entirety of Team Dignitas. And there's Repikas taking the second kill for his team. Up in the air is FrostiaK trying to find Thor. Can't quite land it on a Repi. Ataraxia picks up one, but FrostiaK quickly takes down the jungler to take that even.
Don't mind FrostiaK actually even missing that ultimate there, because it zoned off Repikas's escape route more than anything. Brought him back towards Rens, which secured it. Frosty, though, does still get picked up in mid lane by Prime. I'm just going to say, Prime's been very quiet this game, just fired off a few ultimates, but picking up that kill there, that should actually help out towards his Book of Toth now. Maybe they can put some pressure on mid here.
That Gold Fury kill with the Kukulkan ultimate, that's why the character is drafted. You just can't steal the Gold Fury when Kukulkan is going to ult it for 800,000 damage.
And not just that, you can aim it so it actually knocks people away who are coming in to try and, you know, secure it themselves as well. It does provide that knock-up as well, so very, very valuable to the boys of Dignitas. It's working well for them. These early Gold Fury secures. I expected to see this eventually develop where some of the majors are drafted for that Gold Fury secure.
Exactly. That's what, as soon as Hog was taken away, I expected, and I had said publicly that I think we'll see some more Scyllas, I think we'll see some more Kukulkans, and I think we'll see some more Vulcans.
Well, Scylla's one of those for late game.
Exactly.
Vulcan, I agree with. Potentially, we could see him start to swing back again eventually. But Kukulkan was one that he was kind of quiet because Poseidon was in the meta. Like I said earlier, Poseidon and Kukulkan together, you generally don't see both of them. You only see one or the other. Poseidon's slowly drifting at the moment. Maybe it's the rise of Kukulkan again. Well, Shadownightmare's trying to make that happen at least.
Yeah, Shadownightmare's the only one really playing on that Kukulkan, and the Gold Fury secure has just been, or the objective secure rather, has just been another bullet point when you're thinking about drafting a team. Taunt out of Titan will grab 2, but it's not enough as the cavalry coming out from Team Dignitas. Damage onto the Hunter, but Athena ultimate will channel. There's Repikas landing on top of FrezzOO, but FrezzOO pays it no mind.
Meanwhile, though, in the jungle, FrostiaK did put the aggression onto Prime, forcing out the ultimate, and he's not had to waste too much for that. Going to dash through that taunt away back to his teammate Shadownightmare, who, once again, uses the tornado for zone.
That's understanding, and that's why we see Shadownightmare playing this Kukulkan. He's not playing it like any other mage. He's using that zoning mechanism the way it was intended. Half health for Repikas. He's got a stun. Does he have a hammer out? He might have, but Shadownightmare makes it sure that he's not able to use it.
Yep.
Death for the jungler.
Not much he can do. Bird, though, on the backside there, he's going to trade off a little bit of damage back towards FrostiaK, but not much he can do. Repi falling now, once again.
4 deaths already on the side of Repikas, who has been such a staple for this Titan team. It's just not working out for him, unfortunately, having some problems, and looks like we are as well. But we'll get into it in just a moment. Team Dignitas being, well, uncharacteristically strong here, honestly.
Not necessarily. Well, since LC games, yes, they're about the same as what we saw last season. Sorry, what we've seen last games. But since then, before that, we've not seen them perform as well as they have done so far. It's been great from them.
Yeah, I mean, this is a different Team Dignitas, as I said, ever since we made the announcement that Super Regionals would be expanded from 4 to 6 teams. We've seen a completely different Team Dignitas. Now, they've made a couple of changes. There is a new coach on board, and we've seen a revitalized just team in general. And I don't know if it's the coach or the announcement of the Super Regionals, or maybe just a combination of both, but the Dignitas I see now is not the Dignitas that I have seen earlier in the season.
I agree.
I've completely changed my mind.
For me, it's more the announcement, because it happened the moment the announcement happened. It was when the games just peaked completely differently. Obviously, guys, we've got a technical issue because the servers are being restarted. You know that yourselves, because you're all probably tuning in now to check out why the servers are down. We have the same issue too, so don't worry about it. We'll be back up in a moment with the rest of that game. It's not going to go anywhere for you. You're not missing any action.
Well, it's not going to go anywhere for Titan unless they change things around. Right now, they're down. I believe it's 8-4.
But they've lost a Gold Fury too. They lost a Tier 1 tower in the right-hand lane already. It's not looking great for the boys. Bird at the moment, very, very quiet in this dual lane as well. We've not seen much out of him. He's played very passively. Not died yet, I don't think, but he's...
That said, it's very early. It's not even 10 minutes in.
I think we're 11 and a half minutes in. We were.
It's 11 and a half minutes in. We saw a very early kill in the solo lane, 1v1 variety on top of Ataraxia, and then immediately followed up by a kill onto KanyeLife as well. The Athena dashed right into the wave. So very early start to this, and that's honestly what we've seen a lot. Usually, the old adage or the old story is that Europe is the yawn fest. We always make fun of the
not just lately.
We always make fun of the 22-minute Fnatic First Blood.
See, you North Americans, you only ever remember the long games we have. You don't remember your own long games. I've seen plenty of them. I've had to cast them too, and they could take a long time, honestly. Between some of the times, like yesterday, Eager's game, it was a low kill fest of 20 minutes there.
I don't mind long games. I just want them to be exciting. If you give me a 70-minute game, Hindu Man, and then you make it 70 kills, I am totally down. I don't want to watch a 45-minute game with 4 kills.
Well, the problem is I can see right now for the boys of Titan as well is that how this game's going, it's starting to snowball a bit too drastically right now. And they need to start getting themselves some sort of grasp. Repi's going to have to...
Yeah,
I actually feel Repi's been caught here because he's trying to help his team. And that's the worst times, because you're making the plays to support teammates and you're not getting support yourself.
Well, we'll take a look at how Repikas turns it around. He's 1-4-1 right now, and as I said, he's been a large backbone for this Titan team, and if he wants to make anything happen from the Thor position, he's going to have to turn it around. Here we see Thor getting a little bit of trouble right now.
This is the play we just saw before.
This is where Thor falls down for the 4th time. Shadownightmare actually gets credit for that one. We'll follow it up with the safety of Athena.
Now, Bird will trade a bit with FrostiaK here, but Frosty's quite happy just his own, because the team are pushing up on this left-hand tower now, and this left-hand tower should also fall down, which is going to give more global gold to the boys of Dignitas, extend their lead a little bit further, and with that, if we check the graphs, it should be about 5k after that tower falls.
Yeah, 500 gold credit for a Tier 1 tower. With that first Rebel,
I was on the money.
5,000.
Got it right.
Actually, it was 5,025 gold. You were above.
I'm allowed to be below, but not at 1 over. Is that the key?
Yes.
Ah, okay. I'll just say 10,000 next time, just in case.
There you go.
I'm allowed to be below.
Or 1.
Oh, that's just Cheating overall, but once again, Dignitas, I love this transition though. Look at this, the team realize they take tier 1 in left, tier 1 in right's down, let's transition mid. Frezzy tanks it up.
Can't stop, won't stop.
They put the pressure on.
No reason to hit the brakes if you're just going in.
Now.
There's a great taunt coming out from KanyeLife. Can Titan make anything of it?
Good
Burst coming out from Nuwa, and Repikas cleans it up with a clean Berserker's Barrage. Now, he's going to go into the air. Thor will land right in the middle lane, but a great beans out of iRens will save him for about 3 seconds.
And now
PrettyPriMe cleans it up.
Came in trying to do something back, but instead got taunted and evaporated. Variety has to just Oxform away, and now the boys of Titan, well, they have an opportunity here to put the aggression on, try and get a tier 1 back themselves in mid. Shame for them, Gold Fury isn't available. Otherwise, they could have got more out of this, but they'll just have to settle for a tier 1, potentially tier 2.
Tier 2 it is.
I don't know if
Still, members of Team Dignitas are very low. Double taunt coming out from the support. There's the spin to win. Frezzy, he will die to the fire shards.
He will fall down. The tier 2 should follow in suit as well. As Ray just has to disengage from this. He can't stop that tier 2 falling down. For me, that was a mistake from Dignitas where they bit off more than they could.
Tier 2 tower doesn't fall.
It doesn't fall, but it's on 1 HP. I just think Dignitas made a small misplay there. They took tier 1, they tried to pressure mid, they stuck around a little too long. Take into account they've not got a hunter, so Frosty had to come all the way in to auto-attack it. Freya's doing what she can.
I'm going to turn it around
but
for
then
you.
the 3-man taunt was huge.
That obviously was a mistake because it didn't turn out correctly, right? But if you're going to make a mistake, that's the mistake you make because the Gold Fury is down. If the Gold Fury's up, you don't make that risk. You don't go for that tier 1, or you don't go for the second tower. But with the Gold Fury down, go for it. Why not? Because at worst, the enemy can get 1 tower. That's exactly what happened.
Gold Fury duty. Thor does come in and dunk down though. The Gold Fury's still alive. Going to reset right now. The double tap does not connect with anyone. Still looking for the pick onto Shadownightmare, who gets a great Spirit of the Nine wins and survives and actually picks up Repikas. Now that Tornado is going to pick up KanyeLife as well and hit onto a 3rd target onto Ataraxia. Meanwhile, oh my god, Omgimabird is in trouble. He will survive for now with a roll away, but Frosty's still chasing.
Smoked with the basic out of FrostiaK, and Rens was doing damage, and that's why Titan is so low. Rens did wind up falling, and PrettyPrime's going to pick up Variety, but PrettyPrime should be able to be taken out. FrostiaK on the wrong side of the fight.
He got a little lost. He was in the fog trying to find Prime, and Prime was even miles away. He didn't look at his minimap there. He will fall down. Now Ataraxia surrounded by 3. Low on mana they are though, but Ataraxia, he will fall too. And a very, was a delayed deicide, honestly, for Dignitas. Gold Fury still stands. I don't think they can do it though.
FrostiaK gets credit for that, and the answer is no. Team Dignitas unable to go ahead and grab the Gold Fury, and that was largely a good plan of Titan. They prevented the Gold Fury, but unfortunately for them, they wind up losing.
I mean, they lost 5 kills. Yeah. They went down 5 kills, so that Gold Fury still stands, so it was still a win for Team Dignitas overall there, and continues to extend their lead for the most part.
That ultimate right there to Repikas was a satellite ultimate. He did not want to stun those mid-harpies. The idea from that ultimate was to see where the enemy is. You get the same effect from Nuwa. Nuwa will actually do one better. When you ultimate, everybody on the map is revealed on the mini-map. With Repikas, you actually can only see what your eyes can see, but you saw the Gold Fury, and that's what the information that Titan was looking for.
2 things he was doing with that. A, he was checking to see if the Gold Fury was being done by the 3 remaining alive, who were very low on mana and health anyway. Or B, that one of them was hanging around to defend it just in case and pick him off. That was the option. But once again, Gold Fury started. Ultimate is available from Shadownightmare, so he's got that secure ability with that big, huge Spirit of the Nine Winds. Will he use it? Yes, he will. And the Gold Fury,
but it's not taken down. Oh, yes.
It does get taken down for Dignity. You got excited then.
I got excited. I thought they used it a little bit too early. But the communication on point for Team Dignitas. That puts another Gold Fury in their wheelhouse. That's number 2.
It is number 2 indeed for the boys of Dignitas. 1 tower still remaining in the mid lane, 1 for Titan as well. And at the moment, Dignitas, well, they dropped a couple of kills overall. We see a little bit of catch-up in terms of kills by the boys of Dignitas.
17.5 minutes in, 14-10 read the kills, and the story has been all Dignitas for the most part. 6,000 gold by way of the blue team here in our first game of the day. Team Dignitas recently revitalized.
Revitalized indeed. FrezzOO as well. For me, FrezzOO used to be one of the supports to watch over in Europe, and he kind of just, I don't know what happened to him, he just fell off and he didn't really find his footing. Maybe he just didn't, wasn't comfortable with the hunters he's been playing with lately, but maybe he's found something right now. He's 0-2-10 in this game. Not had a bad game at all in that support role. Sort of a score you went.
Nice heads-up play coming out from iRens. Uses the ultimate to avoid the stun. Perfect sidestep to avoid that stun. Perfect lift to avoid the damage out of Berserker's Barrage. And now here comes the help. Popped in the air is Thor. Pulse is down on cooldown, so not going to be any follow-up from Freya there for the next couple of seconds. But iRens played that perfectly.
He played it perfectly. It was just a shame Dignitas couldn't follow up. I expected more out of them more than anything, but I don't think Shadownightmare could get there in time.
Everything that Freya needed to do right there happened. That right there is why Team Dignitas has a 100% win rate when this god is chosen.
Biggest key with Rens there was actually juking the wall
Yep.
when that fell. Because he used his ultimate preemptively from the dunk. If the wall would have connected, he would have had to beat that, which means the taunt would have hit. So the big key was the juke of the wall, and it worked out well for him. Meanwhile, because of that big rotation there and time being forced back, Dignitas swing mid, pick up the tower.
Variety's playing on the left-hand side, trying to catch any member of Titan that wants to come out, but as we were shown, the ward right there on the side of Titan, very intelligent, very rare ward, understands exactly where Variety is, but you can't ward that. Down goes KanyeLife. Great grab from FrezzOO.
Great grab and deletion. There was nothing the boys of Titan could do. Once again, the tornado as well from Shadownightmare positioned that if he tried to run backwards, he'll step in it, and if the team tries to come and support, they're going in it too.
Variety's now reached this level of solo lane or of warrior dominance that we see out of solo laners that allows him to just be places that he should not be allowed to be. He's behind the tier 2, just involved in everything Titan wants to do, and he's just zoning for his team essentially.
That was deletion of PrettyPriMe there as FrostiaK zoned out the backside there. The pull from FrostiaK went straight into a tornado, and Rens, who had pulse charged, and PrettyPriMe falls down. Tier 2 will follow it.
Tower goes down. That's another 1,500 gold in the coffers for Team Dignitas. 8,300 gold in the lead from the team that made it to finals at Worlds.
This is a rough situation for Titan, but they've been in these situations before. We always bring that up with Titan. They're one of the teams that are very good at coming back from being behind.
Interesting.
If they had allied, they would be the best.
It's actually very interesting to note here with Titan. They have 5 deaths on their support. They have 5 deaths on their jungler, 3 deaths on their solo laner, only a single death on their hunter, and their hunter is the substitute stepping in today.
It is the substitute stepping in, but what is the reason for that they're dying? Is it because they're committing expecting the hunter to follow up, or is it the other option of the hunter getting caught out? Well, it's not really the hunter getting caught out for me. I feel like they're trying to save each other, and it's not working out is the problem. Although, to be fair, Dignitas, I'm not taking it away from Dignitas' play at all here, because I think they played phenomenally.
Oh yeah, this has been there. I do not shy away from being honest, and sometimes teams just throw the game. Sometimes a team wins and they didn't really play all that well. This is not that case. Team Dignitas is just taking this one.
Yeah, this isn't Titan making mistakes. This is Dignitas just taking the game by the scruff of the neck and going for the win now. Good wall placements, good sentry wards, invading the jungles, grouping up as a team. Communications seem a lot better from this side, and they're missing less abilities than they have all season so far.
That's also very true. Just this team just seems more concentrated.
I mean, they've got the opportunity now. Come to North America, come to the LAN, win some extra cash, potentially still come to Worlds too. It's not over till you lose all your games.
Takes a lot of damage. iRens goes in the air to try and force the issue, but Thor gets out of there no problem with Mjolnir's attunement. Team Dignitas on the backside past the tier 2 tower. They're getting aggressive. They want the kills. Ultimate hits Guan right in the face, and iRens cleans it up with a beautiful Pulse Irradiate combo to take down the solo lane warrior. Team Dignitas with that kill, go ahead, push to tier 2. And they've got that win, and they're looking towards a Phoenix.
They get a kill for all their ultimates in a tier 2 tower, but I think they overextended more than they needed to. They should have had somebody taking down that tier 2 so they could keep this pressure on a little bit earlier. But saying that,
Bird's gone.
Pick up another kill.
Down comes Athena ultimate. KanyeLife was not able to save the life of his hunter. Repikas getting aggressive, landing on top of the Ratatoskr. Ratatoskr has no problem with it, goes right into the back line. iRens gets 1, Ratatoskr gets 2. Everyone except for Kanye on Titan is dead. The Phoenix is going to fall. And look at this, Team Dignitas getting exciting and spicy. They're going right for the Titan.
Yeah, Ataraxia is going to be up in about 3 seconds, but I mean, the damage that these guys can put out at the moment should be enough to bring this down. Maybe they can defend enough variety. Will take out Kanye. It's all down to Guan.
25% HP. And that's the kill. Team Dignitas, ladies and gentlemen. The same roster, but a much different team coming out on top for the win. Down goes Titan.
Down goes Titan, and they continue the warpath at the moment. Dignitas, that makes them... They were 3-5. They're 4-6 right now in the last games they've played. They've only got one more against Titan now. I don't think there was anything Titan really did wrong, though.
There really wasn't anything Titan did wrong. This was all Team Dignitas' game. And I talked yesterday, we saw Eager play, and I'm excited for one of their matchups later on in the week. I said, if they play well in this matchup, I will sort of accept them as a better team than they once were. And this is the game that happened for Team Dignitas. We'll take a look at First Blood and show just how strong. I mean, this was just a one-on-one right here.
But this was Red Pot as well as the aggression coming out from Variety as well. He realized he had the power of the Bluestone plus, you know, that Red Pot, just so much damage.
This is the game that I have for a long time been a team, you know, been very cautious about showing love to this team, and this team has absolutely pulled out the stops. Shadownightmare play the game, no surprise there. The Kukulkan went absolutely insane, zoning with the tornadoes, and more importantly for Team Dignitas, securing those objectives. 6-3 and 10. On the mid lane.
Not a bad flashlight. I mean, we give him credit for his positioning, but it's the team setup as well that you've got to take into account when he claims his MVP here. Because the team is what's allowing him to stay in these positions for the most part and stay alive. This was a bit of individual niceness, though, to stay alive under the aggression, then pick up the kill where the team, well, the enemy team couldn't even follow up here. I'm surprised they didn't find that. That's not the usual Titan, but he's done well for himself, supported this team, and abused the fact that he's got CC and decent frontline for him.
Fun stuff, actually, from Team Dignitas is that they did not abuse the substitute. Normally, 9 times out of 10, you will see a team just pay over attention to the substitute, especially when it's a coach standing, you know, it's a stand-in.
But I mean, with Titan as well, though, you expect the trio of Repikas, Prime, we always talk about that. Repikas, Prime, and KanyeLife are the 3 focal points. Right. Well, solo lane dealt with solo lane, right? And then in the duo lane, you did see that pick up onto KanyeLife early, which put him behind. So it allowed FrostiaK for a little bit of a stronger mid-game with Shadownightmare to be able to not have to worry about branching out away towards that duo to deal with, oh my god, I'm a bird.
We'll see if